Once again, it's a privilege to have to share this evening with you guys. Um,
Good
and
evening.
I want to say welcome to everybody that was here before and that is here right
You're
now.
warmly
And I
welcome as
hope that
well.
thank you very much. And I hope that at the end of today we would have added a lot to our leadership knowledge. Regardless of whether you already have a business where you own, or you're working with someone, or you have a family, or wherever it is you are in a leadership role, this topic is going to come in handy either immediately or sometime in the future. So I hope we have a great time together. Okay, so like what Julia told us, we'll be handling one of the topics from the book of John C. Maxwell, the 21 Irrefutable Law of Leadership. And one of these topic in this book is called the law of solid ground. So the law of solid ground majorly points at the importance of having a solid ground in your leadership process. Solid ground, of course, by the word solid ground, you already know what it means. It means being secure in your leadership process. Some of the things that you have to do, or some of the things that you can do that can make you a more efficient leader. Because if you look around us today, you will see that a lot of people are what they call self-proclaimed leaders because they feel like since they have been appointed to a certain position and that makes them a leader. And then if you have experienced something like being in a situation where you are the leader, but there is somebody in the lower rank that you are above, but people listen to that person more than they listen to you. It is because that person is on a solid ground. At least that is what John C. Maxwell referred to, that form of security. All right. So it is important that we take advantage of what we're going to hear today. So that is what the law of solid ground is. The next slide. Trust is the foundation of leadership. Right? Trust is the basis of security. When you trust someone and you know that regardless of whether you are around or you're not around, this person will be able to cover for you, that it kind of gives you some form of security. So the foundation of having a solid ground in your family, having a solid ground in your business, having a solid ground in your relationship with people is to gain trust, right? Is to gain trust. So you want to always make sure that as a leader, or as a person that owns a business, or as a person that have a relationship with people, you want to maintain the trust that you get from them, and you want to give them reasons to trust you. At the end of this topic, we'll be able to touch some of the things that you can actually do that can make people trust you. I'm not going to stress us for too long, I promise. Okay, next slide. It is not the decision, it is the leadership, right? Don't get carried away by your emotion. So there is one thing that almost every leader, almost, I said almost because I know it should be every leader, but let's just say that there are people that are way better at this than others. But not so many people can overcome their emotion easily. Emotion is the one thing that affects almost every leader. Regardless of how you see it, a day will come where you might not have the strength to be able to make proper decision as a leader. And at that point, your emotions will take control. It is important that you understand how to control your emotion as a leader, especially in decision making, because leadership is all about decision making. It's all about saying what should go first, what should go second, where do you go from here, how does this business, how will this business grow, what are the steps, what are the day, how long is it going to take? Those decisions that you make as a leader, regardless of whether in your business or in your family, the same thing. Those decisions cannot be influenced by your emotion, because once they are influenced by your emotion, your mind is telling you that you're making the right decision. But what you don't know is that your whatever decision you're making can be affecting the people that are under you. For the most part, these people will not speak out. They will all, most of them will hide how they feel about what you have done, what kind of decision you have made. Most of them will hide it. It will take a, it will take that staff, that friend, that brother, that family member that really doesn't care about the outcome of challenging your decision to be able to point out that this thing that you say or did, it is actually not the right to do it. It is just how you feel. That is what you say. So it takes a lot for someone to point you to the right direction if you are not aware of your emotion. So it is important for us to gain trust, for us to have a solid ground in our relationship with our coworkers, in our relationship with our family. For us to gain that trust, we need to make sure that we make decisions off of how right and wrong rather than off of how we feel. It is very important. And there is one thing before we move on that I would like to point out. When we talk about solid ground as well, when things start shifting, when things start shifting in your business, when things start shifting in your family, for the most part, we don't get to know about it on time until the damage has gone very, very far, right? It is very, very important that you pay attention to that as well. Because when we talk about things like making decisions out of emotion, for every single time you cause an error, something shifts beneath your feet. And you might not know until when it has caused much more damage than you even know about. And that is why this topic is very, very essential for every leader, every mother, every father, every brother, every sister, regardless of where you are in life. Leadership role is something that you must assume. All right, so next slide. The result of impulse decision making is mistrust. Still talking about trust, right? It is important that we understand that when we are trying to build trust between ourselves and our followers, right? We stay away from impulse decision making. What is impulse decision making? You see that time when it's just like making a decision off of how you feel. But the difference is that this time you're not even, it is not just even how you feel. It is just the first thing that comes to your mind, right? As a leader, you need to understand the importance of passing your decisions through the checks of the people you have appointed as a secondary leaders. For example, if you are a CEO, you have your executive manager, you have your business manager, you have your accountant, you have your financial manager. All these people that are handling this major role should be able to see your decision before it becomes a law, right? In your family, the same thing. In your relationship, the same thing. There are people that you should always go to. Oh, this is what I want to do. This is the decision that I want to make, right? Regardless of how small it is. Now, people might say, it's not everything that you should. No, it is important that when you are handling people, when you are in charge of a lot of people under you, it is important that you make decision off of the agreement of the people that you have trusted to become your fellow leaders in that group. That way, you will be able to see things from different perspectives before you pass it. Because, like I said, not a lot of people will come to you as a leader and say, oh, this thing that you did hurt me in this way or in that way. Most people would keep quiet and let it run. And before you know it, the damage would be done so much. You don't know that you're the one building people what there's a word that people say backbiting. You say that there are people that are your enemies that you think they love you, you don't know that they hate you. It is because you have built so much mistrust among them that now they can't even find a place to trust you, talk more of, to even love you anymore as a leader. And these things are very important for you to grow. Regardless of whatever you are doing, there is a reason why you are doing it with people. You're doing it with people because you want it to grow, you want it to become better. That is why you're not doing it alone. So you have to also take the responsibility of maintaining the way people see you, the way people perceive you as a leader by maintaining your trust level. Next slide. So trust is the foundation of leadership by all means. And from everything that we have said now, you should have at least understood this even before I start talking about it. Trust is the foundation of leadership. Everybody can say yes to you, but when people trust you, when people love you, they would go the extra mile for you, not just say yes. They will do things beyond what you have told them to do. Their mind, they will have this hunger of wanting to help you succeed without you trying to motivate them. So it is very, very, very important that you start today, that you start tomorrow to build trust among the people that you're with, among the people you are in relationship with, your family, your business partners. It is doing this before and you have been seeing the result. Even if you've been asking yourself why people are so supportive of you, if you have been asking yourself, because I know that not everybody are in that place. There are people here that are in a place where people are supportive of what you're doing. There are people here that are in a place where people love what you are doing. If you really sit down to take time to think about it, it is because you have built trust among them. You are giving them the reason to trust you, to know that tomorrow, this thing I'm doing for this person, tomorrow this person is going to do it for me. Regardless, even if you've never said it before. All right. So that is the thing that we're talking about. So it is very important that you pay attention to it. Leadership and character. Now, leadership and character is basically the way to build trust. Trust is not something that you go to somebody and say, you must trust me. It is not something that you are on the road and then you bring a lot of people together and start teaching them how to trust you. No, it is not something you force people into. It is a result of an action, right? It is a result of an action. An action in this case, we are talking about your character. It is important that you watch your character, the way you treat the people around you. And the first thing that there are three, I divided this into the three major things that you should always look at in building the right character that can result to trust. First one, character communicates potential. When it comes to potential is one thing that can be very, very tricky, right? Even most of us don't even know the level to what we can do, right? Every day we get to learn more and more about ourselves, right? But it is one thing for you to go to somebody and say, oh, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is another thing for you to have the character that shows the person that you can actually do those things, right? So, like I said, trust is a result. So you don't have to say it with your mouth. You don't have to tell people, oh, trust me. From your character, they will be able to see that this person has the potential of being a leader. This person has the potential of results, of producing results. And what happens when they see that you have the potential of being a leader and of producing results? They naturally are forced to trust you, indirectly forced. I want to use the word forced because it is impossible for you to have these things together and not have people trust you. It is highly impossible unless this person that doesn't trust you has a different reason, maybe something else that you did wrong that is causing that mistrust. It might not even be you in that case. But in the normal sense, once you have the potential and once your character exhibits the potential that you carry to produce results, it results to trust. The second one, character communicates consistency. Consistency is one thing that if you've been here with us before, talking about some of these leadership topics, you would hear us always talk about the word consistency. Consistency is the one thing that your character must show, right? Before, for someone to trust you, they should be able to have seen you do the same thing over and over, right? Like I said, you don't tell people to trust you. They have to see it for themselves. So you have to be consistent. If you are somebody that starts work by 8 a.m., you have to start work by 8 a.m. If you pay your workers, if you're a business owner here and you pay your workers salary on the 5th, please keep it on the 5th, right? So what happens is that they know that if I'm going to kill myself for this person, I know that this person will come through for me on so and so date. If you are somebody here and there are some people that you do certain things for, that you are in business with or than your family and you do certain things for them, you have to be consistent with it. If you are interested in gaining their trust, that's what I'm saying. You have to be consistent with your relationship with people, how you treat people. Don't treat people cold today and treat people hot tomorrow, and then ask yourself why they don't trust you. Mistrust will be a natural thing if you are not consistent. Then lastly, character communicates respect. Respect is not just like trust. Respect is not, even though trust is way, way bigger than respect, but respect comes with trust as well. A lot of people can respect you and not trust you, right? So respect is just one of the things that can make people trust you. It is very important that you do something. Respect is something that people give you because you deserve it, not because you force them into it. If you force them into it, they don't respect you, they only fear you. And with fear, they can't ever trust you. Those things don't go together. So it is important that you have a character that communicates respect. All right. So we're almost at the end of everything, but I want to pick 1 or 2 questions about this topic before the end of it.